You're not stuck because life is hard, you're stuck because your mind is working against you. Most people think success comes from opportunity, talent, or luck, but none of that matters if your thinking is misaligned. Everything you build starts internally before it ever shows up externally. Your results, your money, your habits, your relationships, your level of focus, are not random, they are a reflection of how you think repeatedly. Not once, not occasionally, but consistently. And here's where most people lose: they want a different life, but they keep the same patterns. Same thoughts, same reactions, same excuses. You tell yourself you'll change tomorrow, but tomorrow looks exactly like today. That's not bad luck, that's a system running on repeat. The truth is simple but uncomfortable: your mind is either building your life or quietly limiting it. There is no neutral state. Every thought you allow, every belief you reinforce, every reaction you repeat is shaping your direction whether you see it or not. And if you don't take control of that process, you don't stay still, you fall behind. Look at how most people start their day, and be honest, you've done this too. You wake up, reach for your phone, scroll, react, consume, and before you even think for yourself, your mindset is already influenced. That's not control, that's conditioning. And if your mind is being shaped by everything around you, your decisions are no longer fully yours. You're operating on borrowed thoughts. That's why focus feels weak, clarity feels inconsistent, and discipline feels forced. You're trying to build control on top of distraction. Here's the shift that changes everything: you are not your thoughts, you are the one choosing which thoughts stay. That means doubt, fear, hesitation, they're not permanent, they're just unchallenged. And what you don't challenge, you eventually accept. Over time, repeated thoughts turn into beliefs, and beliefs turn into actions. That's how patterns are built. Not overnight, but daily. If you don't direct your mind intentionally, it will default to what is easy, familiar, and comfortable, even if it keeps you stuck. You've felt this before: when your mind is scattered, everything else follows. You hesitate, you overthink, you delay things you know you should do, and then you question your own ability. It feels real, but it's not reality, it's repetition. You've trained your mind to expect uncertainty. But here's where it flips: when you start feeding your mind something different consistently, your behavior changes. You move faster. You decide with clarity. You stop replaying the same doubts over and over. Not because life got easier, but because you got sharper. That's the real advantage most people miss. It's not motivation, it's control. A trained mind doesn't panic when pressure shows up. It pauses, evaluates, and chooses. While everyone else reacts, you respond. And that gap between reaction and response, that's where control lives. Once you develop that, everything changes. You stop chasing validation. You stop second-guessing every move. You start trusting your own direction. Same environment, different mindset, completely different outcome. Now let's talk about fear, because this is where most people stop. They wait until they feel ready, confident, certain, but that moment rarely comes. Fear doesn't disappear, it adapts. So if you're waiting for it to leave before you act, you're already stuck. The move is not to eliminate fear, it's to act while it's there. Every time you do that, you prove something to yourself. And your mind remembers that. That's how confidence is built, not by thinking, but by doing. Your mind believes what you demonstrate repeatedly, not what you say once. Every promise you break weakens your identity. Every promise you keep strengthens it. That's why small actions matter more than big intentions. Doing what you said you would do, even when it's inconvenient, builds a standard. And once that standard becomes part of who you are, you stop negotiating with yourself. You don't ask if you feel like it, you move. That's the difference between people who rely on motivation and those who rely on discipline. One fades, the other compounds. But here's the trap most people never see coming: comfort. It's not failure that slows you down, it's comfort. When things feel good enough, you ease off. You stop pushing. You relax your standards. And slowly, you lose the edge that got you there. Comfort doesn't stop you fast, it slows you quietly. You don't notice it at first, but your urgency drops, your focus weakens, your consistency fades. A trained mind sees this early. It doesn't rely on pressure to perform. It maintains standards even when things are going well. Because it understands something most people don't, consistency beats intensity every time. Anyone can go hard for a week. Very few can stay disciplined when nothing is forcing them to. That's where control shows up. Not when things are difficult, but when things are easy. That's where most people fall off, and that's where disciplined thinking separates you. You don't wait for pressure, you operate from standards. So if you want to change your life, don't start with your situation, start with your thinking. Then your actions follow. Then your results. That's the order. Most people try to flip it, and that's why nothing sticks. But once you take control of your mind, everything else becomes easier to manage. You move with clarity. You act with purpose. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. So the real question is simple: are you controlling your mind, or is it controlling you? Because if you don't take ownership of it, something else will. Your environment, your past, other people's opinions, they will shape your thinking without asking. And once that happens, you're not building your life anymore, you're reacting to it. And reacting will never put you in control. If you want clarity, direction, consistency, it starts here. With how you think. Every day. Not when you feel like it, not when it's convenient, but consistently. Because once your mind is aligned, everything else follows. If this hit you, good. That means you're paying attention. Most people hear this, nod, and go right back to the same patterns. Don't do that. Take one thing from this. Just one. And actually apply it. Because information doesn't change your life. Execution does. And if you're serious about thinking better, moving with clarity, and making decisions that actually move your life forward, then this is exactly what we do here on Uncharted Decision. No noise. No empty motivation. Just real perspective. For real decisions. So if that's what you're looking for, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.